David, hi. Can we just start firstly with the story that's come to light this morning, your comments after the Burnley match? Is there anything you want to say on the record at all?
Only to say, but it was in the heat of the moment, and I deeply regret the comments I made. It's certainly not the person who I am, and I accept it was a mistake. I spoke to the BBC reporter, who accepted my apology, and hopefully we all move on.
What's been the reaction from the club since then?
The club have known about it for 2 weeks. I told Ellis about it 2 weeks ago. So sometimes these things happen in the heat of the moment.
You can hear the regret in your voice, though. You obviously were disappointed that it happened.
Yeah, it happens, but we're in an industry where, sometimes you're not always answer things exactly the way you want to.
Okay. Can I just say, David, one local women's group is asking for an FA investigation. Do you think that's complete overkill?
Well, I think, as I said, if you look at my character, my personality, you think it couldn't be further from the truth.
And managers having to do these interviews so soon after games, is it a case that with sort of passions running high, these things can happen?
Yeah, it can happen, and I think it's something which for for all managers, senior managers and young managers, it's difficult when you're put in front of the camera so quickly after the games.
David, can I just ask on this one? Obviously, you've made your point there. You've said that you've spoken to Ellis, you've spoken to the reporter. Can you understand why it was wrong in that instance to say what you said?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
David, it's getting tougher and tougher down at the bottom now. Are you seeing enough in your players that you can still pull this off?
Yeah, while there's still a chance, mathematical chance, we've got to keep going. I always said that this was going to be a pivotal week because we had two away games. I always thought that we had to win one of them. That hasn't changed. We didn't win the first one. We tried. The players done what they could. We just came up a little bit short on it, but we've got to try and win the next one.
I guess it's doubly disappointing, difficult to take when you come off. You've got a narrow 1-0 defeat, and you see the other teams that you're up against are all picking up points, which you probably beforehand wouldn't have expected. No,
and before, you only look at your own results because your own results are what matter more than anything. But I think when you get to this stage of the season, whether you be at the top of the league or whether you be at the bottom of the league, you need other results to go for you as well.
I saw in some of your post-match comments, you said you've been showing the players league tables, videos, goals from the past, how Sunderland teams have managed to pull it off. If you do it this time, will it top all of that?
Well, maybe the people here would be able to tell me that better than me because I wasn't in the other situations. But I'd certainly say in this position we're in, it's going to take a real good go, and we're going to have to win an awful lot of games now and get a run of back-to-back wins. But we've done it earlier in the season. We have to think that it's still there. Football, you never know when football changes. That's the excitement about football.
You've been in games throughout the season. You've never been outclassed. There's been a lot of sort of narrow defeats. Is it just that lack of cutting edge? Obviously, the lack of goals recently. Has that been?
Yeah, I think recently it's been the lack of goals. It's been the lack of probably creating goals as well. There's been parts of the season where we were conceding goals. At this moment in time, we've sort of solved that a little bit. We've done a little bit better towards that, but we've just not been able to get enough at the creative end.
In terms of Leicester, I mean, they've come into form for them, I suppose, at the right time. Are they back to their title-winning form of last season?
Yeah, I think that Leicester have shown exactly what they are. I think Leicester were always a good team. I remember when we beat them at home. I think there was a few people thinking, were Leicester going to be in relegation trouble? I personally didn't see it, but obviously if you get dragged down there, you hope that you get as many teams round you as you can. But I think Leicester have got enough quality to show that they weren't that sort of team.
Were you taking particular interest in the Middlesbrough game yesterday, knowing that if Borough had won, you were keeping sort of another team just sort of in that pack?
Yeah, well, I think, as I said, you're trying now to look at other results as well. Ultimately, you still need to win yourself. Excuse me, but I think if we could win, then that would give us a chance of getting back into it more than what Middlesbrough or Swansea do.
An awful lot of fans have written you off, but I mean, how can you inspire the players to actually believe? Just take this game as it comes, the old cliche, but actually, one win. And it becomes a slight chance.
It does. Every win builds confidence, and at the moment, we've just not done that in a few games recently, where we needed one of them to go for us. And even Saturday was very close. If we'd got something out of the game, I don't think anybody could have complained. But we didn't do, and now we have to do it again.
With the momentum that Leicester under Craig Shakespeare have now got, I suppose the key to that first goal and scoring that first goal is all the more important.
Yeah, I mean Leicester at the moment are in good form, but Leicester have got a lot of big games coming up, and they, you just got to hope that we can maybe catch them in an off night a little bit. But as you can see, they've sort of got back to more like the form they were in when they won the Premier League last year.
Jermaine Defoe got a couple of knocks, I think you described them afterwards. Any news on that?
Well, I didn't train yesterday, and as we're doing this press conference before we've trained today, I'm not able to give you any update on that.
And anything more on Lee Cattermole, because I think he was the closest of the potential returnees, wasn't he?
Yeah, nothing more than just to say that we felt as if putting him on the bench would be good for the squad, good for the team. We wanted him back involved, and I said in the last week as well, it doesn't mean to say that he's ready to play, but we're trying to get him back closer to the group as much as we can.
David, many supporters will be looking at the league table and feeling a bit deflated about the situation the team's in. I mean, what is your message to them with games to go? You have said that you believe. Yeah,
we've got to keep going, right? To it's either mathematically impossible for us to stay up, but at this moment in time, well, there's a chance, then we keep going. It's been done before here. The supporters here, I'm sure, are aware of that. They've been in this position a few times, so they'll know. But they'll also see this being a difficult one as well. I've got no doubt about that. In terms of the players as well, just how hard was it to pick them up after the loss at the weekend? Well, it was a game which we felt as if we went about it, we could get something from it. And as I said, maybe for long periods, I felt as if we would get something from the game. Even late on, I still thought that we had a goal in us somewhere, but it wasn't to be. So, the players need to go again. We all get ready. Another chance. Always felt that if we drew against Watford and we drew against Leicester, then we'd have thought good. But always thought winning one out of the two games would be a better points return. So it's now we've got to try and win at Leicester. In terms of the Watford game, it was a very finely balanced match. Do you take sort of positives from that going into the Leicester game, that you were able to keep them quiet for long periods? I don't really take a great deal of positives because it was a finely balanced match. I wanted us to be the dominant team and I wanted to be better, but as you've seen probably this season, we've not been able to do that well enough. So there is some positives in as much as that we were in the game. We tried to be right in it. We lost a goal to a set piece, which was really disappointing because up until then we had defended them well and they were a big threat. So we're going to have to concentrate right through, not just say for 8 or 9 set pieces, but we're going to have to do it for the 10 or 11 so that we don't get done, which would have given us that opportunity to win the game, maybe more so than try to get back in and get a draw out of it. And just in terms of Leicester, have you been impressed by how they've picked up since Claudio Ranieri left? I've got to say, I always thought Leicester had it. I don't really think whoever the manager was, I think Leicester would always come good, whether it been Claudio, whether it been Craig Shakespeare, whoever. I think Leicester City are a good side. Sometimes when you've been in such a good run like Leicester have been, there'll be blips through the year. I think the year before they won the Premier League, they had avoided relegation on an incredible run. They then went on to win the Premier League. So sometimes on that journey you go through periods where you just don't play quite so well. And maybe that was what happened in the early part of the season for them. And I guess on that incredible run that they went on, you must be looking at it and hope that Sunderland can pull something similar off. I'd love so. I'd love it to be winning the Premier League like Leicester did. Okay, cheers. Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
I think each of these still not either.
Probably.